Hi everybody. We're at one of our favorite gardens. We put this in about 5 years ago. This will be its fifth year, I believe. So we're here doing some gardening in preparation for Heidi to place annuals scattered within some of the openings. And again, we're using annuals that fit the style of the planting. And we'll go over those annuals later as Heidi lays them out. Right now we're doing gardening. We're thinning plants. We removed some aster twilight, keeping it in check. Let me show you that area that we did. You can see where we're working. In the back there, that's an aster hybrid called Twilight. It spreads by runners. It's one of the parents is Aster macrophyllus. So we thinned it out, and I'm putting Thalictrum back there, Delavani. So I've got one. I'm going to bring two more to put in there. Sorry for being out of focus. So we're doing things like that. We're thinning Aster Twilight. Some of the Sprablus aeroides, see the weak growth. We're taking one or two out and mixing some perennials in there. I'll make a perennial list once Heidi and I are done doing garden care. So the open areas, this will be for Bidens. We'll show you that again later. White Bidens we'll go through here. Then we've got a nice pink Bidens. We've got some salvias that'll put in some annual salvias. So we've gone through, and Heidi's done pruning. She pruned Calamirus Daisy May. We cut that halfway back, so that'll bloom a little shorter and later in the year, mostly starting in late June and July instead of blooming in late May. So we'll add to the bloom period along with summer. The allium in bloom is very beautiful. That's Allium atralpurpureum. Coming up, I think we planted that 2 years ago. And then we have a Sylvia Vision in red mixed with Stakey's Summer Crush from Brent at Intrinsic. It's a much taller. Stakey's a little lighter pink. And then you can see Heidi's digging out a eupatorium,
yes.
Right? Hi Heidi.
Hi Roy. Yep, we're gardening today here at Alta Vista.
I don't know, how many eupatoriums have we dug out so far, seedlings?
Quite a few. They really are happy here, but too happy in that they're taking over some of the other areas that they just are taking up space that we can put other things in.
So it's paying attention too. We have to pay attention to the eupatoriums. Sometimes it's easy to bypass them because look at the foliage. They have beautiful foliage coming up with the purple and the green. So it's easy to bypass it, thinking, boy, that looks good. But if you bypass it too many times, the whole garden will be eupatoriums. And then people say, well, I don't want to plant that plant anymore because it seeds everywhere. And I simply ask people, why you let it do that? And that's why Heidi has walked through digging out the seedlings. And usually it doesn't take that much time because they're easy to dig out because they're smaller. And what are you working on here, Heidi?
We're just cutting back some of these as well.
Asters, good.
Asters, yep. It'll increase the bloom time back into July to be fuller and
more flower production.
More flowers, yep.
And you're right scale.
It's a little hard to do it because it looks like it's so well on its way, but at the same time, you're really giving it a good dose of what it needs so that come later July, it'll be stunning.
See, and what we're doing, I think most people call gardening. We're actually gardening and having a good time doing it. And we got through these two beds pretty quickly, really.
Yeah,
I think
out here for a little bit.
Was the eupatoriums we did. We cut back the Calamirus.
Yep.
And the poor looking Sprablus.
Right. And things came up really well this year. I mean, this is, not a severe winter. We had a little winter damage on some aeroides, Sprablus. We had
and the Amsonia butterscotch
came back, which is unheard of.
Looks good. Amsonia looks good. And,
the Amsonia looks
and
nice.
if you can see in the distance, that's Salvia crystal blue. So yeah, we went through it pretty quick. And I think the whole time we were going through it, I heard Heidi mentioning where the annuals were going to go too. So she's not just thinking about what to take out, but she's actually thinking about what to put in.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it in two different ways. Then I have to show you the lake, everybody. How many of you would be like to be out there on that little boat with that little man fishing? It's such a wonderful morning here on Lake Geneva. And I think he's having the time of his life by himself fishing. All right, well, as we lay out annuals, as Heidi lays them out, we'll go over what annuals she's placing and who she's placing them with. Hi everybody, well, we've got good gardening done. We've pruned, We pruned eupatorium, we've pruned pycnanthemum, we've pruned asters down a little, so there'll be actually more, pruned some phlox too, promoting more flower production and keeping the height down a little bit. So I can see Heidi's got annuals laid out, so let's go through and let's find Heidi and see what her thoughts were. And there she is. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Roy.
So we see you got the annuals going, and so what's your thoughts and what annuals have you been using here?
Well, last year's perennials came back beautifully this year, so we have lots of color, as you can see in the garden, and kind of like what we did last year with the annuals is just enhancing color as well as just adding a little softness around the edges. So we brought in Bidens again, this time more of a light pink right here, as well as you'll see other white ones spread further down.
And you have those kind of tucked in, it looks like. Just tucked
and I
through.
kind of love the pink with the mimicking the pink and copper on this Bradburyana Bernarda. That's real pretty. It's just kind of fun. I love to dance colors back and forth.
And the way the plant changes, I was mentioning that might be a selection. And actually, Brent Horvath made a selection in Intrinsic called Midnight.
Ooh,
with that darker foliage.
Right.
So
Because it's different. The two are very
yeah,
different.
I like the way they blend together. I
It's
call
almost like they've been blowtorched, you know, a little bit of
it's good.
blush.
It's good. It's kind of how the things you see and feel when you see them. You can see even that one's a little softer, not all the way green and softer, and they mingle together. That's what I say is our Monet moment. I always use that. I think because it rhymes too. Monet moment.
Well, it's a great palette choice of words.
And what here?
So Euphorbia, the Jack Frost we used, which was really popular last year in a lot of people's containers, but it fills up like a very large space, even though they look quite small right now.
Yeah, I remember that. Right.
But it just the white kind of again contrasts with the deep green of the stackies really nicely. Back here we've got a Stilby with the red bloom coming, and I put Guara, which is another annual, but we actually found Guara here this spring, so it wintered like a perennial.
It did. It came. What shocked me, it came through the winter, and we had 2 weeks below zero too.
And the beautiful thing with this particular Guara with the red and green leaf, which is beautiful in itself, but again has that very dainty flower. This will be a pinky one on the long stem, so it kind of hovers over these things. So again, when they're parked a little bit further back, they kind of reach for the sun and come forward, which is lovely.
It'll contrast the summer crush with the softer pink. That looks really good.
Pinks and pinks. Then we have a really cool dahlia with the dark foliage and bright yellow, almost butter yellow blooms. And underneath it, I've parked a little zinnias with a yellow flower coming out. So those will be dainty. Zinnias. And then to dip in another color here with the red Astilbe, the yellow zinnia, dark foliage here on this dahlia. These are Asclepias that will also have a pink and orange and yellowish little bloom.
That's the annual Asclepias.
Yes.
Yep. Those look good last year. They made a nice statement.
They did really well. And then again with this bright, chartreuse green and yellow of the Coreopsis, that I think is a great combination of colors. Again, we're going another dahlia here, and it's popping off from the color of the deep reds over here, back here with the dark towers.
So you got the penstemon, and you got the zinnia.
Yep.
And the Asclepias.
Yeah.
So you kind of repeated flow.
Again,
that picks
same
up
story
down there
back
too.
there. Our little Spiralis aroides are coming along. They did not winter great, but they're looking okay. They will green up, and
we took a few out.
Yeah.
A few of the weaker ones.
A little bit of editing.
We pulled out.
Yeah. So really good idea just to put annuals in. However you wish. I like to use it as a complement to the colors that are already there with some of the perennials.
Yeah, there's no overwhelming amount of annuals. They're just tucked in on it. And I think the word you used too well is complementing. We're complementing the perennials in the garden.
Right.
And it also works out that it's a nice day.
Exactly. We've got some beautiful color here already with all the salvia.
Sunshade day. It really looks beautiful.
Sure does.
Okay, well, Heidi, thanks too much.
Thank you,
and
Roy.
We'll take another look at some other gardens.
Excellent.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.